Lake Hopatcong Bridge Marina here. We're doing a review and test drive on this 2016 Starcraft 1918 inboard-outboard bow rider, which we actually sold new to these guests back in 2016, believe it or not. They've been with us ever since. And it is, I'm gonna say, a great little lake boat, although they use it in a bunch of different places. It has a trailer that comes with it. It is a great, I'm gonna say, starter boat, or maybe a second boat. And this thing is powered by a 4.5 liter, 200 horsepower Mercury, so it does have a lot of giddy up, but it is a great lake boat. You know, this thing is just about 20 feet with a swim platform. It's a 8.6 beam, seats about 6-8 people. Start over here on the swim platform. I do have a decent sized swim platform. I mean, you can hang out here, you can swim, do water sports. It has a ski tow pylon back here. It is all sea foam, so it is nice. One of the interesting things they put on this model was actually cup holders back here. So it does have cup holders in the swim platform, which is interesting. Now, so if you're hanging out, anchored or something like that, you know, you can put your drink in there, which is kind of cool. Decent little ladder, not as good as some of the current ladders nowadays, but somewhat standard on a boat of this size. Is a 3-rung ladder, not so bad. Some storage back here for some wet stuff. They've got their fenders in here. The boat does show, you know, that it's been used and it's aged a little bit. It's not beat up, but you know, we haven't cleaned this thing up for sale yet, so it does need a little cleaning if you're watching this video. Before I head any further forward, this is the inboard-outboard, nice large engine compartment. They did sort of shoehorn this in a little bit. If you had to take the risers off or anything, you know, it might be a problem. But again, this has been a freshwater boat for most of its life, with the exception of like 1 or 2 little vacations to saltwater. So I wouldn't worry about these at all, but otherwise a good amount of serviceable storage area in there. It is only a single battery, but once again, this is a little bit smaller of a boat, but it does have enough space to put another battery in there. Now, probably one of the neat things on a small boat, especially this vintage, is look, walk-through transom. That wasn't really popular when these things were made, especially for a boat of this size. So that is a really neat feature on a 19-foot boat, especially a bow rider. Nice seating across the back bench seat here. Definitely get 2, likely 3. But I think once you start putting that many people in, it's going to get a little bit more packed. But if you want to put, you know, 3 passengers back here, and then occasionally put them at the bow, you certainly could. Then we go a little bit further forward, and if you notice as you come forward under the gunnels, they put loads of storage. I mean, he has all his dock lines in here, he's got his ski lines, he's got a dock pole, cleaning supplies, it's all loaded up in the gunnels. We go a little bit further forward before I take a seat and move to the bow. Yeah, it does have a large ski locker, and in there he's got all his noodles, more fenders, more dock lines. I mean, it's loaded up. So you go over to the port side, and nice port side seat. Seat goes forward and back and does swivel. So once I put it back some, I do have a nice space here. I do have a little O crap handle here as well, which is nice. Decent sized glove box. Yep. Back heading to the bow on this thing. If you notice, it does have a full width walkthrough for the bow, which is great. A lot of times you get to some of the smaller bow riders and this can be a little congested, but they did a good job. Nice amount of space up here. This is definitely seating for 2. This isn't a 3-seater up here. It is a little bit tight, but again, this thing is roughly a 19-footer. Again, I'm just about 5'11", and you know, with my sneakers on, I'm buttoned up against that. So if I had a second person in here, it'd be a little tight, and we'd have to play footsies. So not the largest bow, but again, this is a relatively small boat. But they did a good job by putting coaming around the whole thing. They ran the seating close to the gunnels as they could. So the nice thing is, if you're out relaxing someplace, there's multiple ways to kind of sit on this thing. You don't have to just sit up here with in one particular way. Same here. Storage under the seats, it's all hinged, and the hinges all break away. And one of the things they did on these models in these years, this was actually a request from us, was they put vinyl under the seats. So this is vinyl underneath all the seats. So it's relatively finished off, so you're not looking at just bare fiberglass, nor did they put carpet in there. They actually put vinyl under all the seats, which is great. This does have a forward ladder, which is kind of nice, and a relatively small anchor locker. I will say that that anchor locker really isn't suitable to hang your anchor in or do much with, but it's there if you want to put some dock lines in there, or maybe your anchor line and detach it with a shackle up at the bow. But otherwise, if you were, you know, getting in or out of the boat, you know, it's nice because you do have a little pad there to get up and down. Of course, you do have some more stainless steel cleats at the bow and some crab handles, which are nice too. Yeah, I haven't been in this boat in a while, but I have to say, this is a great first boat, or maybe second boat. Really did a good job on creating sort of a nice all-around boat. When I get to the helm, it's actually pretty nice too. It is a little bit congested when I sit here, but again, I have to expect this from a smaller boat because there's only so much boat to go around. I do have all my instruments, or you know, they're all heads up. They're hitting me right as I look out the windscreen. I can see them all laying out in front of me. easy access to everything. They're all right here. This thing does actually have a Bluetooth stereo in it, which was a pretty nice advancement for 2016. It does not have tilt steering. Again, that would have been nice here because I do feel it's a little tight to my knees. But I do have a lot of space here. Feels rather comfortable. We'll take this thing for a ride and really check it out, but I do have nice space over here to just keep my arm up here on the rest, on the coaming, as I throttle up the boat, which is nice. So if somebody's looking for, again, 19-foot boat, you know, something that carries 6-8 people, nice lake boat. This does include a trailer. This one looks pretty sweet. But let's not make a decision yet. We're gonna take this thing for a test drive, see what it's like, run it through its paces. Again, this is the 200 horsepower, 4.5 liter, so it should run pretty well. We're gonna go check it out. So now we're gonna do a wet test on this 2016 Starcraft 20-foot bow rider. It's called the 1918 Limited is the model. This thing's powered by a 4.5 liter, 200 horsepower V6 Mercury, and we're just gonna trim this thing down and just pop it up on a plane and just see how it does. Nice, has good giddy up, right up on plane. But I feel confident up here running around that, 15, 18 miles an hour. And the reason I can say that is I can just feel, this engine's only turning 2,200 RPMs. These 4.5s came around where they actually programmed it so it's gonna keep speed. The engine compensates for the heavier load as I go into a turn, and it holds plane fine. And we're just gonna go right through our own way without doing anything, like I'm not turning the wheel. Nice, the V-hull responds pretty well. Everybody wants to know power on it, so hold that camera for a second because I'm just gonna goose it. And it's got some legs. We're jumping up into mid-20s. So I just maneuvering through a couple of these late season boats. We're up around the mid-30s right now, about 35, 36. Runs rather well. I can feel it wants to porpoise a little, just trimming this thing out, running through some smaller waves. It's a fun boat. And it feels, relatively sporty, especially with this motor. You can cut into a hard turn, performs well. So if you think about it, if you're doing, tubing or something with the family, your own waves, not bad. Again, for a 19-foot boat, handles this small chop that I'm making out here pretty well. Yeah, nice punch from that 4.5. So if somebody's looking for, I want to say, again, a good, let's call it entry-level boat, but certainly something that is not going to break the bank. Great running boat, comes with a trailer. I think it's a tandem axle aluminum boat and trailer. So if you're looking to get on the water, this could be a great boat for you. For those that don't know, maybe you just want to get some education. Maybe you just need some hands-on training. Or you need education, hands-on training. Maybe the boating club suits you well, or maybe even owning something like this will suit you well. Whatever it is, come on out to us. We'll be glad to take care of you, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the water.